sometimes getting hung up on who caused what can get in the way of, people assisting the turn from the past to the future causes. Why does a conflict occur? If that example of Mercedes is one that we can point to, why did her mother not have the ability to get money for a drug test? Why did this young girl think that she had to steal in order to help her mother? Can we address that? And so, if you really take restorative justice seriously and making amends seriously, it includes not just in this particular situation
police shooting more black people than white people? We don't know.
There's no national statistics on
No one keeps accurate statistics on police shootings.
I've met 400 other mothers who's lost their children.
I cannot believe that my profession, in some cases, is that national.
That's on the next radio.
That's at noon here on 89.9 W.
Yes, may I be at the number 15, the big chicken combo?
Okay.
And may I also get 2 double cheeseburgers, and that'll be it.
What's this for the combo?
Sprite, please,
Okay, and then you said what
Two-
sandwich?
and 2 double cheeseburgers.
All right, 1527. Peace in the world.
Thank you.